My name is Rebecca Jackson, and I'm a traveller, a linguist, a PG Kappa, an educator, and a lover of stories. Ever since I was small, I've loved a good yarn. My parents used to find me napping on the windowsill, book in hand, trying to catch the fading light in summer. I also used to love writing a good story too, but sadly I've found that researching the technical side of languages killed my appreciation of stories and poetry, and sadly I barely write creatively anymore. So imagine my happiness when Chrissy called on me to investigate digital storytelling and to make a digital story to share with you all today. I was really happy to answer the call and take on that challenge, so I replied to the email right away to accept. Here's the story of what I've been through in finding out about digital storytelling and what I've learned. So the first thing I did to find out about this all was to get on the internet and look at pictures and web pages about digital storytelling. It's amazing what tips and signposts the internet gives us when we start a new project. I looked at PG Cap resources as well and used Solar to try and make sense of this all. And I found 3 documents that were helpful to me. Some slides by Dr. Helen Barrett on digital storytelling for reflection and deep learning, a paper by Catherine Boas called Digital Storytelling for Reflection and Engagement, and a paper by Gail Matthews de Natale called Digital Storytelling Tips and Resources. These texts were simple to read and not full of jargon, something that was so helpful because a new topic can be confusing, and it made me realise how some of our students might feel when we ask them to embark on a new project. What these titles tell us is that people are using narratives with pictures as a means of engaging students to share and reflect on experiences. We can also imagine that the learning and reflection comes about for the storyteller as much for the audience, if not more so. Perhaps this will be our shared experience today. But I've got something out of this, and I wonder, is what I've got different from what you're getting right now? What have I found out then about digital storytelling? What is it and how does it work? And what's the moral of the story that I'm sharing with you? Because after all, a good story needs a moral, right? Something that the literature does tell us. But it's also something that we know from experience because we tell stories and hear stories all the time over coffee or on the bus or in the staff room. Does anyone know the story of the little red hen? The little red hen wanted to bake bread and no one would help her. But when that lovely bread was baked, all the animals that refused to help were only too happy to eat the bread. And that story and its moral has stayed with me all my life. What does the literature tell us, though? Well, digital storytelling is simply a narrative that's told using digital media, and the format is usually short videos made up of photos and pictures, usually not more than 5 minutes long. Coming up with a digital story is a kind of deep reflection that you apparently can't get from just writing an essay, and it can bring in audio-visual learners, both in producing and viewing the story. Storytelling is seen as positive in learning because it's something that we naturally do and we can all relate to, and it draws on shared experiences to which we can attach new knowledge. From storytelling, we can make sense of our experiences and work out what is happening to us. The stories also follow an emotional strand, just like when we gossip to each other or tell each other what's going on in our lives. And simply thinking about what to put in the story helps us to identify what is important and valuable from those experiences. The idea is that we can relate to this more than the linear, logical narratives of academic writing. So how are you feeling now about what I'm telling you? Because I've had to think about what might be important to you and what you might be interested in. Are you thinking that you could try this out? Do you think you could get to grips with the technology and find a way to apply it all, either in the classroom or just to learn more about yourself as a person? What I found out is that digital storytelling is thought apparently not to be much good for teaching academic facts. Is this your experience? I wonder if you'll remember what I've shared with you today. What have I learned? That we can use new techniques and technologies if we show a little willing and we try to experiment and do a bit of research. I found out that I can share a private learning process and some experiences from my life with peers without feeling too exposed or worrying what you'll think. I found by having to think about who you are and what you might want to know that this can change what I'm telling you. I also know that I've definitely been through a process of deep and reflective learning here. Searching to find the right words and the right photographs has been a moving experience for me. I also see that I can return to storytelling and get enjoyment out of sharing ideas and experiences once again, even if I still have to write academically. I can also link this experience with the open and honest personal stories that Chrissy has been brave enough to share with us. I've decided that storytelling is a positive and very powerful process. I really hope that you've all got something out of this, that the storytellers, bookworms, library haunters, chatterboxes, gossips, and little children leaning on windowsills trying to catch the light can see the moral of this story. Digital storytelling can have applications both personally and perhaps academically, and it's a way to organise your thoughts and connect with other people. I also know that the stories of the magic white sauce and the little girl who just wanted to dance will stay with me forever.